We have a special guest on Coug Fan TV, fresh from Boise State, transfer wing Emmanuel Ugbo. First off, congrats on being a Coug, and what's this last 24 hours been like for you?
It's been great, getting a lot of love from the Coug fans on social media, um, meeting a lot of new people, talking to the guys. Very excited. The guys are excited to play with me. I'm excited to play with the guys. Spoke to the coaches, obviously. They were happy. So just being very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you played for Leon Rice under a year, a very good program in Boise State. I know a lot of Cougs have a lot of respect for Boise State's athletics. But, in terms of looking for a bigger role, you feel like you found that here at Washington State?
Yes, sir. I've known the coaches for a long time. They've recruited me for a long time. Also, before I went to Boise State when they were still at Eastern. And, they've seen my game evolve and develop. And when I was on the visit, just talking to them, seeing the plan they had for me, seeing the facilities, knowing the league they play in, knowing the way they play basketball because we played them last year. It was just a no-brainer, you know. So yeah, and I know I can trust Coach Riley, and I know I can go out there and do my thing.
6'8", 7'2" wingspan. You can shoot the three as well. You're a versatile forward. Obviously, in this offense, you guys probably had to do some tape work on Ethan Price and Dane Erickstrip when you played against them. How much did that go into effect? Just kind of having somewhat of history with playing them last year, and then obviously being recruited by the staff previously.
Obviously it had an effect because I know the way they play because we scouted against them and we've seen it. And also one of my good friends and my ex-teammate played under this coaching staff at Eastern Washington, Sebastian Hartman, and he was just telling me great things about the coaches. How the coaches are great people. The playing style is great. That the playing style will fit me actually, and just having the people around me and my coaches from back home like Coach Yart, Boas, Xavier, Dominic, they were like, okay, this might be the right move. We think this is gonna fit you. We've seen how they play. We've seen how you play. Like this should make sense.
Yeah, and Roberto Bergeson is Ryland's father. Ryland's on staff at WSU. He's a hell of a player during his time. I know you guys have worked out together. How much of a role did Ryland play? Was he kind of leading the point here in terms of getting you to Wazoo?
Yeah, Ryland's my guy. So with having him on the coaching staff and obviously with being so close to his dad, like I said, had a good connection there, and like I know the coaching staff, but it just all makes sense, like more of a family thing at this point. So yeah, it for sure played a role in my decision, and just made me feel like comfortable when I was there.
Yeah, in terms of who do you watch tape wise, maybe in college basketball or the NBA, that you try to take your game after, or you really enjoy watching play?
I would say I watch different people for like different parts of my game because I like the way Jared Vanderbilt guards, for instance, or Lou Dort. But also, might be a little cliche, but yes, like obviously I watch LeBron James, I watch Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum. I like OG Anunoby, Jonathan Kuminga, Rui Hachimura. I think those three are like players I could probably become or play like.
In terms of your official visit at Washington State, what players maybe kind of took you around campus and the facilities? Who kind of, helped you out with things?
I did a lot of my stuff with Case Wynot and Ree Vavers from Latvia. And they were both great guys. I went to dinner with Parker Garrett and Thomas Trasterson. And so, great guys. I got to meet them. That was amazing. Also met ND Okafor. I met all the guys basically, and I spent the most time with Ree and Case, and that was the good guys took me in like right away. So.
Emmanuel, right now, there's more international guys on the roster than there are American-born players. Couple quick questions. What's like what's that like to have, such an international flavor, and knowing that the staff can go out and bring guys overseas to come in and play?
It's great. I mean, I feel like that's perfect because I feel like Europeans play the game a little different. So if we can like combine a European playing style with the stuff we have learned while being in the States, I think that should just set us up for success.
How many languages do you speak, if you don't mind me asking?
Great.
Three?
Speak Dutch, German, and English.
That's awesome. I wish I can barely speak one language. So, um, one thing too, you got to play some professional ball in Germany, and excuse me here with the enunciation, Ludwigsburg, Porsche
Yeah.
BBA. What was that like to what was that like to play, against grown men and play in the pros internationally?
It was different. It was an adjustment for sure. But it was a hell of an experience. We had a very young team that year because that was the year we moved up to the Pro B, so that's the third German league. And it was a hard transition because you're playing against pros, guys that had already done the college stuff, at different levels, Division 1, Division 2, grown Germans, like also other like the best players on other youth programs also played up in the Pro B, so you had a good game every weekend. It was great. It was a lot of adjusting, but I think I grew a lot that year. Learned a lot about myself, about my game, and I got to expand it by a lot, I would say.
Initially when you got into the States, into Boise State, there was some visa issues in terms of not allowing you to stay on campus at first, correct?
Yeah.
And you were able to stay with a family, actually a friend of mine, his mom, Helen Bowler. What was it like to be able to have that, with so many kind of crazy things initially getting in the States, and having, folks take you in, and also have like a very good basketball family to work with?
Yeah. Um, it was like a peace of mind. It felt like I got picked up by a loving family. They took great care of me. Helen was always there for anything I needed. Gamani, DeAndre, Alicia, great people, and that's now family for life. So yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, DeAndre played at Central Arkansas, season at St. Louis as well. Gamani, he might be reaching father time, but he's still got a crossover as well.
I believe that. I believe that.
In terms of the West Coast Conference and the ability to play Gonzaga 2 times, St. Mary's 2 times, those are now 2 big time schools. And we're kind of in this last year limbo of getting into the Pac-12 in 2026. What's it like to know that you're going to have 4 marquee national games to play in?
That's just amazing. That's the games you play for. That's the games you prep for. The games you shoot hoops in the driveway for when you're a little kid. So that's just amazing. That's the games you live up to. I mean, in the Mountain West, we had, Utah State, New Mexico, San Diego State, Colorado State, a lot of good teams that we played. And I feel like in the West Coast Conference is the same thing because San Francisco is about to be good. Gonzaga is good. St. Mary's is good. Santa Clara will be good. There's other teams like LMU. Like there's a lot of good teams in that conference. So that's just amazing. Just knowing that you can go out and compete.
Are you hoping that this continuous over the last 5 or 6 years Boise State WSU non-conference game sticks? Do we know if that's going to happen again? You got any inside intel for us?
I mean, we don't know if it's going to happen, but obviously we're going to be at the Maui Invitational together, Boise and Washington State. So there is a chance that we might play each other there. So just
great point. Great point. That's bad interviewing on my point. The Maui Invitational, I wanted to talk about that. It's such a pristine tournament, non-conference wise. When you're thinking about Thanksgiving break and eating Thanksgiving dinner, you got the Maui Invitational on behind it. How big of a role did that play as well in transferring to WSU and having that opportunity, or was it just maybe icing on the cake for you?
Yeah, I would say it was like an icing on the cake. Obviously, I knew it in the back of my mind, like, okay, well, they're playing in the Maui Invitational. That's a great tournament. Like, play against great opponents during non-conference, and I have a chance to maybe play against Boise State, so to play against like my friends and coaches that I love, trust, and have been knowing for 2 years now. So I was like, well, that is interesting, and Maui is like one of the biggest tournaments in college basketball. So why would I not want to play in that? So yeah,
Absolutely. There's maybe a possibility at a second additional year of eligibility. We know you have at least one. Is there any clarity on that yet? Or are you still working with the NCAA?
we're still working with the NCAA. We're just going through that process and hoping for the best, praying for the best.
In terms of like maybe the common Washington State fan that's, maybe hearing this interview for the first time and hearing about Emmanuel Ugbo for the first time, what can they expect from you as a player and what you're going to give on the court next season?
Player that works hard, plays really hard, defends multiple positions, rebounds the ball, and on offense, I'll be able to show you different parts of my game depending on the night, depending on the matchup. So come to all the games so you can see it, so you can see the full package.
Do you feel like you didn't get maybe that opportunity to show every aspect of your game last season?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. Like, the coaches put me in different spots based on, who we played and what type of defense they played. And I mean, shit, I started 12 games out of the 20 conference games. So I got a chance and I got to show different parts of my game. Maybe not as consistent as I would want to or as I'm used to. But, I think the coaches, they put me in the right spot last year. And I'm about to be put even in a better spot right now.
One game that jumps off at the top of my head, I watch a lot of West Coast basketball. I love watching Mountain West Coast Conference. And your semifinal game, I believe, against New Mexico, was that the semis? 17 points, 5 rebounds. And that was like an NCAA tournament-like game. You had Donovan Dent on the other side of the floor. What was that game like, knowing that, you guys were pretty much fighting for your NCAA tournament lives?
Yeah, it was hectic. That's the right word for that game because I think Omar had foul trouble early. JB had rolled his ankle, and then it was just Tyson on the floor. And I think Tyson also had like picked up a foul early. So I came in and I knew like, okay, well, we are depending on us that's on the floor right now. And I feel like it started off, I was just feeling good. Alvaro got me, included in a couple plays, and I think from there on it just started rolling. I think it started rolling for me when I, got like the first block on defense, and then we had like a fast break. They called timeout, and I was like, okay, I'm guarding now. Like, let's keep guarding, and everything's gonna take care of itself. And that's what happened.
Last one for me. What do you get more hyped over? Like a crazy block where you're sending that thing 5 rows back, or a jam?
Probably a jam. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I think I've had a lot of blocks that I'm just really cool about it after. But if I dunk, like I got something to say.
Hey, and we're really excited to see that first dunk and see that a range of emotion that comes out. Emmanuel Ugbo, very excited to have you here at Washington State. Looking forward to watching how this team assembles the rest of the summer. And best of luck and stay healthy this year.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.